just when it looked like they'd turned the corner.
Second interception of the day, both by Earl Thomas.
There's tight windows that I put the ball in jeopardy.
The offense is stuck in a funk.
Prescott back and looks, rush now, throws left, Swain didn't catch it.
Get locked in and start finding ways to move the ball.
They need to fix it, and fast.
Good protection, a lot of time. Holds it forever and gets sacked.
I definitely say it's easier to fix. It's about everybody just doing their 111, doing their one job.
We got to block our men long enough for the quarterback to make a throw downfield.
You got to come out there, get a fast start, execute.
The Lions come roaring in, fresh off a huge win.
Touchdown, Marvin Jones.
It's scary, how dynamic they are.
We got to focus on us, get back to our game plan.
Live from AT&T Stadium, it's Cowboys Game Day on CBS 11.
Oh, what a beautiful Sunday morning for football, not only outside AT&T Stadium in Arlington, but especially inside the stadium. A noon kickoff today as the Cowboys take on the Detroit Lions. We're just an hour and a half away from kickoff. Cowboy players have been out on the field, as well as the Lions getting set for the noon kickoff, and we welcome you to Cowboys Game Day. Bill Jones along with Randy White and Keith Russell, and it's about time these fans got inside the stadium and got fired up for what is one of the biggest games of the year for the Cowboys, because you don't want to start the season 1-3, right, Randy?
No, but I walked in here and I think they're all getting warmed up out there in that parking lot. They'll be in here shortly and this place will start buzzing.
Hey, both teams, 1-2, both silver and blue. I'm wearing the winning colors today, fellas. It's just a matter of which side wins. I know who I want to see win. I know who needs to win. The Cowboys need this victory. Simply put, are they the team that started the season in week 1? Are they the team that looked so great in week 2? Are they the team that looked disastrous in week 3? We're going to find out.
Well,
today.
This is the 10th season for the Cowboys here at AT&T Stadium. Of course, they have not established a home field advantage during that time. And I'm telling you, it's a Sunday morning here, Randy, and I feel like I'm at Prestonwood Baptist Church getting ready for a church service. There's no electricity in the air here.
Well, like I said, Bill, they're all outside getting warmed up.
That's why you say they need to get in here.
Yeah, well, they'll be in here, and I think this place will liven up. But it's a little exciting right now.
But just how important is this game, Randy? Because you look at this schedule, they go on the road next week to Houston, then they got Jacksonville after that. This is a team that needs to get to 2-2 today.
Yeah, 2-2, 3-1, you don't want to be there. 2-2, playing well. It's just a matter of which team shows up today. The team that played against the Giants or the team that played the other 2 games. If the team that played the Giants comes out and plays the way they did, hey, we're going to be in good shape.
2-2, you simply put, feel like you have some hope. 1-3, you start to say, this thing is getting out of control, and we don't know if we're going to be able to get it back.
All right, so it is week 4. Back home. That means this roller coaster ride should go back up today, but not unless the Cowboys can get the offense on track. Earl Thomas picks off Dak Prescott twice last week in Seattle. They're playing the #1 ranked pass defense in the league today, the Lions. Cowboys are 31st in the league in points scored, also second to last in the league in passing yardage.
Poor execution on offense. You can't run the ball if you're down by 17 points. That's what it is. If we get behind, we're going to have to throw the ball. We're not going to be able to, do what we want to do. If we're better early in the game, if we're not taking those 3 and outs, if we're not in long down and distance, we can run the football. So if we execute early, then we can run the football as much as we want.
It's just getting everybody on the same page and just letting them know, seeing how simple this play could have been a big play if this one job gets done. So it's about everybody just doing their 111, doing their one job, and knowing collectively it'll come together.
I mean, guys, listen, I'd love to tell you, put a finger on something. It's just we got to play better. I mean, that's at the end of the day, we got to block our men long enough for the quarterback to make a throw downfield. Bottom line, end of story.
Let me ask you, Keith Russell, I heard more passion in Zeke Elliott's voice this week than I've heard in his career here. He sounds like, and Zach Martin sounded the same way, they sound like they want to do something about what's going on with this offense.
Well, they know the identity. They know the identity of this football team is running. You got to run the ball. That's what they were built for. They have all these all-pros. And I know Travis Frederick is hurt, and I know they have Joe Looney in there, and I know they have a rookie at guard, but they have to run the football. I mean, Zeke said, politically correctly, Zeke said, yes, I want more touches, but we can't run the ball when we're down 17 points. But they can start off the game, run, and run some more.
But wait. Randy said a couple of weeks ago, you got to hit them with a deep ball. Is it just as simple as execution, though? I mean, when you look back at last week's game, Michael Gallup drops a perfect pass from Dak that winds up in an Earl Thomas interception. Zeke steps out of bounds, took away a touchdown. He dropped a third down pass. He also fumbled. Is it as simple as that?
Well, and then you get another guy that slaps a guy in the face and gives him 3 points. Yeah, I think, Bill, you got to do the little things right. You got to do the little things right. You got to do it during week. During the week, you got to concentrate. And when you do the little things right, then the big things will start happening. You quit dropping the footballs. You quit stepping out of bounds. You start making big plays. You don't fumble the football. You have to be aware of that, but you got to focus on that in the week, and it sounds like that's what they're doing. Hopefully it is.
I will point out, the Lions, you said they're first against the pass. They're last against the rush. Run the dang on football.
All right, what about throwing the ball deep, though? Because it's been an issue with this Cowboys team, of course, and it started last year, basically. When you look at Dak's yards per attempt compared to his rookie season, it was way down last year. It's down even more this year. I talked with Jason Garrett this week, and, you know, Dak in his DNA, it's to take care of the football. And I asked Jason Garrett, okay, how do you marry that together, taking care of the football and also being aggressive enough to throw the football downfield? And Jason said, you got to just go ahead and throw it down the field. And I think that's probably what they're coaching Dak to do now.
Well, you got to take some shots down the field. You got to throw the ball down the field just to keep them honest. But you know, running football, if they give you the running game, run the football. If they give you the passing game, if they give you the long ball, throw the long ball. If they give you, you got to figure out right away quick, what can I do against this defense and take advantage of it.
And keep in mind, this is a Detroit defense, as we pointed out here, #1 ranked in the league. They limited Tom Brady and the Patriots, no less, to 120 net passing yards on Sunday night in their first win of the season.
Well, all I know is Scott Linehan promised they're going to sling it around. So I want to see some things.
Now, do you really think,
look at Randy's grimace. Look at Randy's grimace.
So do you really think Scott Linehan's going to tell the media that what the game plan is this week? Where they're going to sling it around?
No, he's not going to tell.
That tells me they're going to run it around probably.
Well, hopefully they can run the football. That's what they'd like to do. But if they don't give them the run, they got to start throwing that football and making some plays.
Okay, so Keith, what about this wide receiver, this collection of wide receivers? And do you think it's time to hone it down to the top 3 or 4 guys and not parade 6 or 7 guys into the game?
I've said it all year. It looks like a track team. It looks like a 4x100-meter relay team with 2 extra guys. We got to pare it down. We got to get to the point where we get 3 guys consistently in the rotation. My dad is a huge Cowboys fan, a big admirer of Randy White, by the way. And he says, tell me about these wide receivers. Tell me about Deontay Thompson. Tell me about Michael Gallup. Tell me about Allen Hurns. Tell me about Tavon Austin, Cole Beasley. I said, Dad, they're all the same guy right now. They look like the same guy right now because there's not enough differentiation between these guys to keep shuttling them in back and forth. Pick the best 3, go with them. If they don't do the job, get another 3 in there.
You know, and Randy, you can't do anything in the passing game or the run game, or let's talk pass game, without the pass protection. And Dak has been sacked 11 times so far this season. That's a pace to be sacked like 59 times all year.
Yeah, I mean, your quarterbacks can't do anything if he's under siege like he's been under siege. And he's been getting banged around. That's what you want to do as a defensive team. You want to keep your quarterback off balance, disrupt his timing from throwing the ball effectively. And that's what teams have been able to do to us. They got to give him time to throw the football. And when they do that, I think you'll start seeing him make some good plays.
Now, the Lions are without Ziggy Ansah, their top pass rusher, for the 3rd straight game today. So Keith says, run the ball, run the ball, run the ball. And Randy says,
whatever they defense gives you, figure it out quick and start taking advantage of it and put some points on the board, and don't be afraid to take a chance.
All right, there you go. I've got word that they're watching you in that Cowboys locker room right now, Randy, and so we'll see what comes up. All right, coming up here on Cowboys Game Day, Randy is hot about that roughing the passer penalty in the National Football League this year. But first, time for our Cowboys Game Day trivia question. Last week, Kerryon Johnson became the first Lions running back to rush for 100 yards or more in a game since Tiger last won a golf tournament. Who is the last Lions running back to do it? We'll have the answer after the break.
Reggie Bush?
I'm not sure.
Is it Reggie Bush?
We'll have to see if it's Reggie Bush. In our Cowboys Game Day trivia question, we told you last Sunday Kerryon Johnson became the first Lions running back to rush for 100 yards or more in a game since 2013. Did you know the last Lions running back to do it? Well, Keith Russell sure knew. Reggie Bush, November 2013 versus the Packers.
These quarterbacks are shifty, and they can get away from you if you don't hit the quarterback the way you hit any other player. So
these are plays that are changing outcomes of games.
I'm gonna continue to hit like that. And if they're gonna flag me, they're gonna flag me. They're gonna find me. They're gonna find me.
Cowboys and Lions, AT&T Stadium. The party started in the plaza before 9 o'clock this morning, actually. The gates to the stadium opened at 10 o'clock, and we are now less than an hour and a half away from kickoff here. A noon kickoff. Bill Jones, Randy White, and Keith Russell. That was a huge roughing the passer penalty against Tyrone Crawford early in that game against the Seahawks last week. It flipped field position in the game. And Randy, I know you have to hate what you're seeing, the way they're calling this roughing the passer penalty in the league this year.
Well, you take the violence out of this game, and people are going to quit watching it, number one. People watch that, just like NASCAR. People don't watch to see them go around in a circle. They watch the wrecks, right? They like to see the contact, right? Yep. But I got a theory. They want to do this. We got to get vests on our quarterback, a vest, and then referee's got a little vibrating thing with a bullhorn, and when the defender touches the quarterback, the bullhorn goes off, and everybody in the whole stadium knows that there's been a sack. That solves the problem. This is the way they want to play football.
And by the way, Tyrone Crawford came over here moments ago and told Randy he's not going to do it any different because, as he said in that soundbite there, that you got to tackle the quarterback in this league.
Well, you got to. You're going to get hurt. What happens when the quarterback starts scrambling away from you and throws it for a touchdown?
Let's show you the difference between now and when Randy White, the Manster, used to sack quarterbacks. This is Randy on display here. He not only annihilated him from behind, but there was some punching and slinging around. You talk about slinging it around. He's slinging quarterbacks around here.
Hey, Randy, I got a serious question. How do you at 300 pounds stop your momentum? They're talking about they don't want these defenders to drive the quarterback in the ground. But if you're coming after the quarterback, they don't want you to hit him low. They don't want you to touch his head. If you hit him in the chest, how do you stop 300 pounds of momentum?
You don't, Keith. That's what I'm saying. They're asking these guys to do an impossible task now. It's gotten ridiculous. Protecting the quarterback, okay, I get it. But it's ridiculous what they've turned these rules into, in my opinion.
And coming up next here on Cowboys Game Day, the Cowboys face the seemingly impossible task of replacing Sean Lee in the lineup today against the Lions. We get you ready for kickoff and talk defense when we come back.
It's time for the Nissan On the Road Report. Shop ChooseNissan.com.
The defense as a whole has a lot of young guys who gained experience and are ready to step up. So we're not as young as we've been.
He's running up the middle. He's boom! Down at the 10-yard line.
We have a ton of talent, and we have guys at my position who are very talented with experience.
Outside AT&T Stadium, on my way to the stadium, I saw a number 50 jersey being worn by several Cowboys fans, and unfortunately for the Cowboys, Sean Lee is turned into a spectator inside AT&T Stadium once again today as he battles a strained hamstring. It's a left hamstring now. was a right hamstring prior to that. Of course, you all know last year the Cowboys went 1-5 when Sean Lee did not start a game. Actually, they were 1-6 in games that Sean Lee got injured in because he did start a game in Atlanta that they wound up losing when he got hurt. All right, are they better suited to replace Sean Lee this year, Randy?
Well, I don't think you replace Sean Lee 100% with the way he plays when he's 100% healthy. But I think they have some people in there that Jalen Smith and our rookie guy.
Leighton Vander Esch.
Yeah, Leighton. I mean, these guys have shown some promise when they've been in there. So I look for them to not lose as much as they've lost in the past. They got some experience, they got some knowledge, so, Sean Lee held that whole thing together. Hopefully they'll be able to do something on their own out there.
Rod Marinelli says Leighton Vander Esch is like Steady Eddie. He says for a rookie, he's very steady. And I guess that's all you can hope for at this point. I want to see, unlike years past, not a big drop-off. That's what I would really like to see. I think the defensive line can help with that. I think the defensive line has to play remarkably well and take the spotlight off Vander Esch, so to speak.
And, of course, the big thing with Sean Lee, not only the plays that he makes, but he gets everybody lined up. And it's very difficult to expect a rookie in Leighton Vander Esch to do some of that coach on the field type stuff that Sean Lee did. Sean Lee played great last week against Seattle. There was one play, he made the tackle on the guy that they faked to, and then he crossed the field and made the tackle on the guy that they handed the ball off to. The run game for the Lions, they now have a run game to go along with Matthew Stafford, and so it's going to be huge for this Cowboys defense to stop this run and carry on Johnson today.
One thing these guys on defense got to remember: if you're not at the point of attack and you don't have contain, you're running to the football. That's the way you play defense aggressively. And if Sean Lee's not in there, you guys got to do it. That's the way it's got to play.
A lot of people passed on Kerryon Johnson coming out of Auburn. They didn't think he was one of the top running backs coming out in the draft, but he's really given the Lions a punch to go along with that dude from Highland Park.
Yeah, and that dude from Highland Park, of course, Matthew Stafford. If you look in the Cowboys record book, the guy who has passed for the most yards in a single game against the Cowboys was the guy from Highland Park, Matthew Stafford, 5 years ago as a member of the Detroit Lions, 488 yards against the Cowboys. That was the game where Stafford also in the last led them to 24 points in the fourth quarter of that game and scored on a quarterback sneak. He's a competitive guy as well, and he's only been sacked 3 times this year, Randy, but he has thrown 5 picks, including 4 in the season opener against the Jets.
Hey, like you just said it, he's a competitor, Bill. He's going to get back there and he's going to throw that football. He's going to let it go. And when he does, you can have a chance to intercept that football. But you got to be after this guy from start to finish because he don't have quit in him.
He's going to get the ball out. I have no problem saying he's going to get the ball out. The Cowboys will not have 5-6 sacks today. He's going to get it out, but as Randy said, when he puts it up, we need our guys come down with the football for once. For once.
Can they come up with 1 or 2 interceptions? For once. For once. They have no picks on the season. Keith's in love with Byron Jones, don't you think, Randy? It sounds like
I think he is.
Yeah.
You guys calling me out on my man crush. That's fine. I do like Byron Jones. I think he is the perfect looking cornerback. I mean, you know how some guys just look good in what they do? I'm not saying the man is handsome. I'm saying he looks good and statuesque as a cornerback. And he looks the part. I think he should have been a cornerback right away. I think they flirted around. They moved him from corner to safety, and now he's back where he should be. But I think he needs to come up with the football. Randy is like, Randy's not validating anything I say after I say it.
No, I think he's done a great job.
Randy says, can he tackle? Can we get him to tackle?
Yeah, well, we can get him to tackle, but he's done a great job of covering. I tell you what, he has.
Yeah.
I've been watching.
Once I said he looked good, Randy was zoned out. Zoned out.
Well, and here's the other thing the Lions do. They have decided on their top 3 wide receivers. And Marvin Jones, Kenny Golladay, and Golden Tate, they get 95% of their snaps. And so they go with the 3 wide receiver set quite a bit. But the Cowboys safeties got burned a couple of times last week by Russell Wilson. And so the jury's still out, I believe, because this is the most highly potent offense that they've gone up against this year.
Yeah, these receivers that Detroit has will get downfield, and Stafford will try to thread that needle. He will throw that ball. You think you got the guy covered, he'll throw it in there and take a chance. That's why we're talking about, hey, you can get some interceptions here because you can expect him to throw that football. Don't ever think you got the guy covered and the ball's not coming because it could be there.
All right, coming up next year on Cowboys Game Day, our bold predictions for Cowboys versus Lions.
The on-time delivery is sponsored by UPS. Future you. Apply now at upsjobs.com.
And since moving to cornerback, Keith's man Byron Jones has delivered. He's one of 13 cornerbacks in the NFL to limit opposing receivers to a catch percentage below 50% and not allow a touchdown in his direction.
It's time for the Nissan Drive to Success. Shop ChooseNissan.com.
A look at the NFC East standings, and oh, Randy, this does not look so pretty this week. The Eagles and the Redskins at 2-1. Redskins are off this week. Eagles are at the Titans. Cowboys playing the Lions here at AT&T Stadium, and we've got the Giants and the Saints on CBS 11 at 3:25 this afternoon. Let's check out outside AT&T Stadium. Anybody coming to this game? Well, yeah, looks like a lot of people are coming to the game. They need to get inside AT&T Stadium and make it loud like it was in Seattle a week ago. There's a reason the Seahawks have home field advantage, and there's a reason the Cowboys have not been able to establish it. How about the kicker? Let's check in on Brett Maher, the last man on the field. He looks good on his field goal attempts pregame.
Looks wonderful.
Yes.
Nice form.
Yes, very nice form.
Looks wonderful.
Dan Bailey, by the way, came through in a big way for the Vikings in a loss on Thursday night. All right, time for our bold predictions, but I got one thing to say first. Randy Gregory, no bonehead mistakes this week.
No. If you're gonna do it, hit them harder than that. Get your money's worth.
Get your money's worth.
The Cowboys are going to win.
All right. So you got the Cowboys winning.
I got.
All right.
Cowboys.
You're 1-2 so far this season. What's a key to a Cowboy win?
Defense, turnovers.
Okay.
Defense, turnovers. Third down and turnovers.
All right, very good.
I'm going with my man Taco. He's no longer part of the Hot Boys, guys. He's formed his own group. It's called No Limit. And there's no limit to what the Cowboys can do today. Taco has his own group, broke away from the Hot Boys.
All right, very good. And he's a Michigan State man, so against Detroit, maybe Taco is your pick to click today. All right, very good. All right, noon kickoff today. We will wrap it up tonight on CBS 11 News. And, of course, we've got the Giants and the Saints coming up at 3:25. For Keith Russell and Randy White, I'm Bill Jones. We thank you for joining us here for Cowboys Game Day live from AT&T Stadium.